Hey there, welcome to Hermit. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jackie. We're so excited to invite you into our safe space. Hermit Haven is like a cozy little hideout where we can celebrate being confident in ourselves as we find happiness in quiet moments.
So grab your favorite blanket and your favorite drink and let's dive into today's episode.
Hi, I'm Jackie. Welcome back to Hermit Haven.
Hi, I'm Ashley. We're so stinking excited to have you this week. We are on episode 87, like still speechless how we're here. And I want to talk about something that Jackie and I've been really thinking about. And even though it feels like 87 is a lot of episodes and it feels like a big process and like it's been like fast, but like we've really been talking about this concept behind the scenes of really being more intentional with like our time, our mindfulness, like everything like you do, if you truly like slow down and think about things, like you become more grateful, you become more like excited, you become seem more processed. Like, and it's not just about time. I think like when we talk about this, like we really want, yes, time is part of it because time is part of your life. And so it's just one bucket, but like really slowing down whatever it is to then see those results you're really looking up. It's you can't just keep running sometimes. You really need to like put on those like little baby shoes and start with those baby steps and figure out how to walk and to crawl. And then once you figure out how to walk and to crawl, you're gonna be like, whoa, I can do all these other things.
Yeah. I'll be honest, as someone that really likes productivity, the idea of slowing down, because I've been thinking about this exact topic in my life, like I've been putting it into place for maybe like a year and a half or so now, like been really thinking about it. And at first I was like, I can't slow down. Like I have things to do and I want to get more done and all this stuff, like slow life living. No, like I can't do that. And I feel like life forced me to slow down from 2023 and all that stuff. Like it forced me to slow down. It forced me to literally stop a lot of what I was doing, like a lot of what I was doing. And then I realized, wow, I can really be on like a healing journey. I can really just like I don't know, so much about my life has changed. Like my things that I do, noticing little things with the boys, just working on myself and not saying I don't have time to work out or I don't have time to journal or I don't have time for this and that. And I realized that I'm very grateful that I am a stay-at-home mom. So now that my boys are older, I have a little more time. When they were younger, you really don't have a lot more time. But I just feel like this idea of slowing down, it was so hard for me. So I feel if you're listening and you're like, I don't know, this isn't for me, just like hear us out because this has been very, I hate to say like life changing. That sounds so like whatever, but it really has been. It really has been.
I think too, the thing about this, it's not a hard topic to hear, but it's a hard topic to do, right? Like
Yeah.
how do you slow down? How do you stop what you're doing and say, "Hey, I got to stop everything and we need to rewind and we need to figure out how to move forward." Right? Like that part itself is hard. So it doesn't matter probably how many times you've heard this, right? Like we probably heard this concept so many other times in so many other places and like I think like it's the work we do that we came to a place where we're like, "Oh, right, this concept is a real thing and it just takes a lot of work to get there." So it's okay to be in that season where you're like, okay, well, like I'm hearing you, but like I'm just it's not it's just not happening, right? And I think it's not happening because it's work. It's a lot of work. It's gonna be work, right? It's gonna be work. It's gonna also be a lot of discipline. Oh yeah, I can be on my phone right now because my son's playing independently. Or I can put my phone down and put my work down and say, I have a pocket of time for my work later. This is my time with my son now, right? And again, nothing's wrong in this situation because if we don't know better, we don't know better. And that's the
Yeah.
thing about slowing down is sometimes we don't know better. We don't know how to slow down. We don't know that, the alternative. Like there's an opposite, right? Instead of eating fast food, you're eating, a whole healthy meal, right? Instead of going to the gym, inside the gym, you're going to the track to run, right? Like there's an opposite to everything, right? And you wouldn't know the opposite because unfortunately, like life goes so fast. We're never taught the opposite sometimes. And so, when we're, those mornings we're craving to read our book and drink our coffee, like that's the type of slow we're talking about. Like we're talking about
Yeah.
that as a living though, like as a lifestyle. It's truly like, okay, I can speed up. I can like spend the next 5 hours cleaning my house because I don't know what happened. We came home, it's a crazy mess. My office exploded with books. I can say this all I want, right? I can be like, I have to clean for the next 5 hours, right? But I'm never get those 5 hours back, and my house is still going to be cleaned. My house is still going to be dirty tomorrow. I'm still going to die with emails in my inbox. I'm still going to die with missed calls. I'm still going to die with voice messages I never heard. I'm still going to have bill collectors looking for me to pay for my son because they're going to repo my child. No, they're not. But you get what I'm saying? Like, there's always going to be someone looking for something. There's always going to be some notification. There's always going to be some mess. There's always going to be something to be washed. There's always going to be some type of laundry. But this time period of who you are will never be the same. You'll never, ever be in this season again. You'll never, ever be this age again. You'll never, ever have your children this age again. You'll never, ever have the job you have. You'll never, ever accomplish the things, you may accomplish something different next year, right? Like what you've already accomplished this year, you've accomplished. And that's amazing, right? And I think that's the hard part is we take for granted of all the things we've already done. We take for granted what season we're in. We take for granted that like this is the things because life moves so fast, right? You're responsible for making sure everyone eats. You're responsible for making sure you get to your job. You're responsible for making sure your clothes are washed. Like you're so much going on that how can you slow down? So I love this topic again because it's really not just doing like the mental work, but really taking time to sit down with your schedule, sit down with your time bucket, sit down with like everyone's schedule in the household, sit down with like your meal planner. It's like one of those things that's like, how can I make my life easier so I can give times like my time and energy to something else that's worth it, right? That I can change in this season. I can make myself better. I can make someone else better because at the end of the day, that's the goal, right? If you're pouring in all this energy to make your house pretty and make, do all these other things that could wait in a sense, right? Yeah, we need to keep our house in maintenance. Let's be honest, like, we need to spend a little bit of time every day and continue that maintenance of your house, right? That's just a normal thing, but we don't need to consistently spend 5, 6, 7+ hours, right? If that, whatever it is, right? This is like you're going to put this example in your own head and say how you want, but instead, maybe I can spend 30 minutes of that time I was cleaning to set up an activity for my son next week for us to do together, right? You're never going to get that time back with your son. So instead, it may not feel proactive, right? Because your house is calling you, that mess is calling you, that distraction is calling you away, your phone is calling you, work is calling you, whatever it is, but you'll never, ever get that time back with your child. You'll never, ever get that time back with yourself. You'll never, ever get that time back in the city that you're in currently right now. So it's so important to realize that these are all distractions from slowing you down. And once you see that like these are all distractions and it's just how you use your time, it's just how you mentally show up to the activity, to the thing, to the thing, to the thing, you will continue then to realize that I can slow it down. You are a wizard. You are Harry Potter. And you are a wizard and you can slow it down. Sorry, that was a whole tangent, but I think it was just so
Okay.
necessary.
No, it's good. One of my biggest motivators for like continuing to slow down, I guess. Obviously, I said I kind of had things that forced me to, was I didn't want to be anxious anymore. I was always rushing everywhere, rushing to do everything. And I don't know if it's society that taught me that or what, but I always felt like if I don't rush, I'm going to be behind. That was a huge thing in my head. And I remember I was driving somewhere one day and I was like, oh, I gotta get in front of this person and whatever, I'm not like a crazy driver, but I just would always have this like almost like anxiety or anxiousness or whatever driving. And I was like, why?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not late. And even if I am, like, who cares? Although I don't like to be late. But, I remember thinking that. And ever since then, I was like, oh, you want to get in front of me? Feel free. You clearly are in more rush than I am because I'm not in a rush. And I don't know. I know it's one small thing, but with driving, I don't have like that anxiety anymore because I'm like, I don't care. You want to get in front of me? You want to do whatever you're doing? Just don't hurt me. And I just don't care. And I'm just like driving along, and that was just like one area that I would just remember being so anxious. And I was like, I'm just not going to rush anywhere.
Yeah.
And the phone, being on my phone, scrolling around, whatever I'm doing, if I'm doing something for work, I will let my kids know, hey, mommy needs a few minutes. I'm actually doing something for work right now. If it's not something urgent, obviously, that they need from me. But I just remember like the scrolling, right? And then your kids come ask you something and you're getting annoyed at them because they're asking you something while you're trying to pay attention to this TikTok that you're watching or whatever you're looking at on your phone, right? And you're just getting annoyed at them because you're trying to focus on this. And it's not that you can't focus on this, like you do deserve to have your own time, but I just knew that was like an anxiousness in my life. And so I was like, maybe if I put my phone down more while I'm with my kids to give them that time, then I can take that time later because it is important. It's something I struggle with is not taking my own time. So it is important to take your own time and to set that boundary. But when I let them know, hey, Gavin, I need you to, like, I'm doing something right now. And this
Mhm.
is really important. Is it an emergency? No. Okay, perfect. Save that idea. We'll come back to it, and just like letting them know that was another place that I felt like I just was like rushing all the time and just feeling that anxiety build up, and
Yeah.
when I stopped doing all these things and I was less anxious, I was being more prepared for where I was going. So I didn't have to rush on the road. So I wasn't late and all this stuff. It's like you're able to just notice the small things. You're able to notice the things your kids are doing. You're able to notice, I don't know, something on the road, a cool bird that just flew by or landed, whatever, because you're not like rushing around like a cray cray. Just able to just move at this pace that you're present and you're noticing the world.
Can I add to that? Because I feel like you got me like on this like thought now. It's almost like you feel guilty from taking away the time, like because you're on your phone or you're getting distracted by something else. It's almost like you can feel guilty almost that you're taking away time from something else you're already doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're saying, like if you're on the road and you're like on your phone, then you're taking away time from seeing Mother Nature, like that. Maybe you don't mentally feel the guilt, but your body might feel the guilt, right? Like, and I think we don't see all these other opportunities. Again,
Mm-hmm.
we love the cell phone, but the cell phone comes up a lot because it is something in your hand that's a distraction, right? But we can think about it like with kids' toys too, right? Like I have 1,000 things in my office. I was looking to see if I had a toy next to me, but like we can take like something very simulating. One second. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah. One word I meant to use when I was talking about the kids is being overstimulated. Which I get very easily. I get overstimulated by noise, by things happening around me, by my phone. Even though we think like, oh, we're just gonna take a few moments. We were somewhere the other day and Glenn was like, oh, look at that mom and that girl. And he was totally being judgy. I was trying to not be judgy, but he's like, look at that mom and that girl, and they're on
Mhm.
vacation, but they're on their phones. They're not even talking to each other. And I was like, well, maybe they just need a few minutes to just like they've been
Yeah.
going, going, going. Maybe they need to relax. And he's like, that's not how you relax by
That's
scrolling
how
on your
some
phone,
people relax.
well, but he was just trying to say, like, you think that it's relaxing, but really it's just continuing to
Yep.
like make your mind go and overstimulating you. That's not really relaxing. It's continuing to feed your brain something. And I didn't think about that until he
Uh,
said it, and I was like, huh, yeah,
no, I
I
agree.
guess so.
It's the same thing, like, I find like, okay, so again, and we're not against either of these toys. We have both, clearly. We believe that like he needs to learn about both just because that's what the season we're in and life we're in. But like, I mean, that's satisfying. I pressed the button and I got an immediate response. Great. That's a satisfying, right? That's super satisfying. But then we have the stagnant cube, which we are missing pieces. So but he has to physically take every single piece off. Then he has to now figure out how to put every single piece back correctly. Because if I don't put it correctly, look what happens. That
Yeah,
that that takes a lot more work for your brain, right?
right.
So we're not building those. We're literally this is your phone. We are literally satisfaction quickly. This
Yeah,
is equal to this almost like
yeah,
something physical in my hand that I have to physically. I'm not going to get satisfaction if I read the first page. Is your mama a llama? I asked my friend Dave. No, she's not. Is the answer Dave gave? I have no satisfaction from that. I don't know why. But if I kept reading and I got to the very end of the book and I
then
would
you
figure
have
out
a whole story.
exactly. And I think that is such a big thing. Like
Yeah,
we're saying,
yeah,
these are easy fixes, right? It's an easy fix to go buy a new outfit instead of, oh, I don't like anything in my wardrobe because it doesn't fit me. Let me just go buy a new outfit, right? Instead of doing the
yep,
work to get to that new outfit, right? And Matt tells me this all the time, like, I'd rather go buy something and then like figure out how to fix it or replace it. But some things do need to be buy.
yeah,
But it's the same concept, right?
yeah,
We all the time think that, and it's okay. Some seasons are going to be busier. Some seasons are going to be filled with everyone coming to visit, and you have 40 holidays, or if children have 50 activities, and it's just not the season, right?
yeah,
And some seasons are going to look like slowing down might look like just drinking your coffee in the morning. Some seasons might just look 20 minutes of journaling in the morning, 20 minutes of journaling at night. And some seasons might look like, hey, I have like 4 hours on a Sunday by myself. I'm going to sit here, drink my coffee, read my book, right? It's okay. That is part of the trial and error process, right? That is part of it, right? And I think when you start making sure that you're giving those buckets of time, and again, it's not going to look every different every season. It's just not. It's just that's what it is. Like we change. And that's something so beautiful about life, right? Is we are shedding, right? Like we are shedding every season. We are turning into someone new every season. We are adapting, we are evolving, we are becoming more of us. We are becoming greater people. And so when we're feeding this slow time into us, our involvement becomes even greater, right? We're literally giving back to ourselves. What a gift. What a gift that we could literally give back to ourselves. No one has to develop us. No one has to train us. No one has to take care of us. We can do it for ourselves. And we have this gift. We have this amazing gift, right? And I think that is what this is about, is literally saying, I have this gift to create the day I want. I have this gift to create the life I want. I have this gift to create how this year is going to look. And if that sounds great to you too, wake up in the morning, quickly get dressed, rush to your kids to carpool, and quickly then throw them back in the car and quickly get dinner in their throat so you can quickly watch
Yeah,
your show and go to bed,
anxious already.
then that's on you. But me and Jackie have came to the point where we feel that, how do I wake up in the morning and have time to myself from not taking away from my kids? How do I wake up and make sure I'm feeding to myself? How do I make sure that my kids get what they need, but I still need what I get what I need this week? So if that looks like my kids get out of the house 2 days a week, we're home 2 days a week, then that is okay. And that's something Jackie and I really want to talk about in this episode, is really, it's okay to adjust. It's okay to figure it out. It's okay to truly say what is going to work best for me and my family and not anyone else. And
Yeah.
truly, again, it's, you don't know if you don't know.
As humans, I think we think that it has to be this grand gesture or like this huge change in order to see a change in our lives. Like when someone, I know I always bring back to weight loss, but like when someone's like, I want to lose weight, they think that they have to change like everything about their life in order to lose weight. In reality, you just have to change like one or two things, like small things, and you can already start to see a change. And that's exactly what this is like too. Like
Yeah.
Ashley was saying, take some time in the whatever makes sense for you. Like what brings you joy. I remember saying to Ashley, like, I don't feel like I don't have any creativity. Like my creativity just like left. Well, that's because I wasn't making space for it. I wasn't making the space. And then I would say, well, I don't have time for that. Well, I do have time. It's just that I need to take it from somewhere else in order to give myself that. And I think part of this and part of anything, I was thinking about this earlier today, is you have to kind of be ready. People say they want something. How many people have said, I want to lose weight or I want to this and that? But they don't do it. You have to really want it, because even though it doesn't take a grand gesture or big things to give yourself more mindful life, more peace, less anxiety, what we're talking about here, it doesn't take big changes, but it does take making a change. You have to change something in order to see a different result. And I think if you're not ready for it, you'll just continue to say, I can't do it. I
Yeah.
just can't do it. But you can do it. You
Or
just have
you,
to be a little more creative. We were talking about before this about trying different things to, because you might not know the system that's going to work best,
yeah.
right? When we were talking about that, like
Yeah.
you're not going to know exactly what's going to work the best for you until you try it. And you might try something and be like, this didn't really work the way I thought it would. And maybe you try it a few more times just to make sure, but maybe you just have to like,
Yeah.
that's the hardest part I think about
I think
changes,
too,
right?
I think too, you sometimes, because again, life happens so quickly, and I'm not saying like anyone's guilty here. Like when we're saying these things, like life just happens so fast, right? I think we sometimes don't open ourselves up to experiences to then realize that there is more, and to realize that we can slow down and we can kind of like have this kind of like different
Yeah.
lifestyle that we kind of do need and want. Because I don't think anyone was ever meant to live, a 9 to 5 and meant to, schlep our kids from A to B every single day. Like, I think we were, all meant for something different in that sense, right? And I think we were all meant to live our life. And I think at some point we stopped living. We just stopped living. And so when you're slowing down, you start living again. You start seeing the beauty in little things. So, like, again, I'm going back to my toy situation here, right? I still see the beauty in this piece, in this toy. Even if this is a distraction sometimes for my son, I still think about how he was little and how he was excited and how he gets excited about the little music playing. I also think about this toy, how we work together on this toy, and I get to create these memories and this bond with him, right? I'm grateful for each thing that does something different, and that's okay too. And I think sometimes we think that I need everything to do the same thing. I need everyone to act the same way. I need every day to look the same. And maybe that's the thing is when you slow down, you start taking and accepting things for the way they are. for who people are, for what situation, for what it is, for a book of for what it is, for the time as what it is, for the season what it is, for how someone behaves. You just take it as what it is because at the end of the day, you're not listening to other people. You're no one else's grass. You can't even see someone's grass at that point because all you care about is your grass and growing your grass and you having the best looking grass and the prettiest garden, right? Because you are spending so much time invested in you. And I think, those are the people that are role models. Those are the people that are, are leaders. Those are the people that you want to look up to, the people that stop looking at people's grasses, that are so invested in making sure their grass is green, making sure their grass is fed, making sure their garden is fed. And these are not things from being a nice person. These are, that's great. We're all nice people, but these are things that are coming from really investing in you and investing in the people you love and investing on the things you do and investing your time in the right places and investing in things that you want to invest in. So again, we don't think phones are evil. They're very useful. Thank goodness. I remember at one point in my life being lost in the middle of New Jersey and having to go through people's mailboxes hoping I can find a piece of mail to know where I was, to then use someone's random phone at a random gas station to call home. Thank God for phones, okay? I'm not saying I'm very grateful here. But again, phones can be a distraction and they can be useful. How are you going to use it? So I can use my phone to create a whole playlist for my son to listen to a story, or I can use my phone to scroll on TikTok and right? And it's okay to do both, but make time for both. And that's part of slowing down.
TikTok has given me a lot of advice on
Yeah.
different journaling styles, different creativity. I got
Mhm.
my first fountain pen, which most people won't even know what I'm talking about, and that's fine. But it's brought me a lot of joy in ways to get off of my phone,
Mhm.
ironically. But that's a lot of what I follow. I got a word search book last night. Glenn was watching TV, and I'm I just need to took out my little word search book and I'm doing my word search. Or some other small ways that I've been really trying to be more mindful. If Pierce, I've gotten some stuff that I need to get done, and Pierce is "Oh, can we play the Bluey game, which is a board game?" I'm
Yeah.
okay. And it's sometimes hard for me. It's sometimes so hard for me to stop because I'm got my mental list and I got my physical list and I'm I got all these things to do. I'm you know what? I will stop for 20 minutes and I'll just go play with him. And he's satisfied and he's so excited. Or Gavin, who loves chatting with me about who knows what. He could just talk forever if I let him. And sometimes I just let him talk and I listen to him because sometimes I can't totally pay attention because I'm doing whatever I'm doing. And if I stopped every single time Gavin talked, I would never get anything done. But sometimes I do stop and I listen to exactly what he's saying and we have a whole conversation. And those are moments that I will never get back. And I hate to say that the old me wouldn't have done that. I probably would have eventually, but the old me was so worried about getting the things done and checking the boxes and not being behind and
Yeah.
the productivity of it all. And that stuff is important still. It's just slowing even just a little bit to notice, notice something outside, notice something your kids are doing, write down something funny that they say, just
Yeah.
tiny
Check
little
in with
things
yourself.
that it makes you feel like you're so fulfilled in life. And so whatever that is for you.
Yeah, I agree. Checking in with yourself, asking these questions, journaling. I think something we were talking about too is okay, you have 365 days of the year. How do you want to use those 365 days of the year, right? You don't need, again, going back, I think we talked about this a little bit, but you don't need to consistently fill all hours of the day. You don't consistently need to fill 365 days a year, but stop thinking small and thinking what am I going to do this week? Think about 365 days. What am I going to accomplish in those 365 days, right? So if your goal is to, homeschool your children, right? I don't know, just a random goal. And right now your kids are in school, you're working, how are you going to get from A to B? And it might not be this year, but if you don't have a plan, you're not even going to get there next year. I think that's part of slowing down is acknowledging you need a plan, acknowledging you need boundaries, acknowledging that you don't need to say yes to everything, acknowledging that this is a season where it might feel a little selfish, right? Because you're trying to figure out how to become the version you've been looking for. But being selfish can lead to the results. And that's part of the process sometimes. That is the process. Again, as much as you love the people in your life and as much as you love having memories and having these experiences with people and doing all these things, you need to take care of yourself. And being selfish for 2 weeks and saying I need 40 minutes of journaling, we need to add this to the family schedule.
Yep.
Totally okay. Put your
Yep.
foot down. Set those boundaries. And I think my mom, I love my mommy. My mom loves sitting outside. My mom loves her soap operas. My mom has told us from, I would say since I was a little girl, I'm going to go watch my soap operas. I'm going to go sit outside now. This is what I'm doing with my time. My mom is confident. This is what I'm doing with my time. And I think that confidence is the confidence we all need. This is what
Mhm.
I'm doing to slow down. This is what I'm doing this week with my time. And this is what I'm doing with my time with my children. This is what I'm doing to live the life I want to live. And we just need that confidence. We need to believe in ourselves just as much. We can accomplish it. No one has ever said you can't do what you want to do. No one has ever said you can't be a billionaire. No one has ever said you can't own the home you want to own. It's you. You're the one that puts the limits on yourself. And when you're not slowing down, that's where that glass ceiling happens. That's where those limits happen because you're just living that hamster wheel. You have to get
Yeah.
yourself off that hamster wheel. Once you get yourself off that hamster wheel, break that glass ceiling and realize that you deserve the world. You deserve every single thing your heart has ever dreamed about. Ever since you were a little girl, if you dreamed about having that big Lisa Frank art set, go buy it today. Go buy it and go relive out that desire because you deserve every little thing that you deserve because we are only going to live this life once. And that is the slow down part. If you truly slow down, you realize how special this life is and you realize how special the memories, the things you do, everything you do. It's just part of it. And I think that this is why this episode is so important to Jackie and I, is because we love life so much and we feel so rich that we get to experience and be blessed by this life.
Yep. When you slow down, you have the bandwidth in your brain to dream again, to come up with what your dream life will be. And not to say that, I mean, I'm living my dream life right now, but I also am a human and I know that like growth is amazing and I have more. There's always more, and more is great. More is amazing. I love the word more. Can always be better, like Bob Proctor says in our book that we always talk about. But I also need to notice right now what's happening. And so it's like that balance of like noticing what's happening now and realizing like your dream life is here right now. If you'll just stop enough to notice what's happening, then you'll notice that it is
Mhm.
here. And you'll also have goals that like you're going after and
And
how much life is going to be amazing then
And I
too.
want to say it's okay if you don't feel like your life is a dream. It's okay. And sit down with a piece of paper and say, what is 5 things that would make my life feel like a dream? And then start with that because it's okay to feel what you feel. We're not saying that you are on the same level as us. Jackie and I have been doing this podcast now for like 87 episodes. We've been having these conversations more. You guys see us weekly have these conversations with you, but we've been having these conversations behind the scenes more than that. Probably like, I would say there's 365 days a year. We've probably been having these conversations for at least 800 days of the year. Like we're
And
consistently
we have
talking about this.
hard days to go off of what you just said.
Yeah.
Just because I'm living my dream life doesn't mean I don't have hard days.
Mm-hmm.
Things happen. I cry. I get upset. Like things happen and this life is never going to go away. But being able to notice those tiny little things just helps me get over that faster. So
Mm-hmm.
sorry, didn't mean to
No, I
interrupt you.
agree. And I think that's part of it. And I think it's helps us process what we're feeling each, when we're going through whatever we're going through, because we
Yep.
know, okay, well, we see the small things, right? We see all that. We see like, we're like a little fly or little tiny ant. Like we see more than maybe meets the eye because we have taken time to practice. This is literally a practice. Like this is something like, it's not just something you're going to learn overnight, right? It's part of the gratitude practice, right? Is having gratitude and having this like belief that everything is going to work out and that I am so thankful for this situation because something in this situation is going to teach me something. Something in the situation is going to bring me to where I'm supposed to be next. And even if it doesn't feel right now, that means that you're getting to the next spot. And if it feels like a dream right now, that means that you're growing and growing to the next season. And all of this is okay. So at the end of the day, whatever season you're in, we love you and we just want you to know that it's okay to stop. It's okay not to fill every day of the week with something. It's okay to divide your time differently. It's okay to take time from one place and put it somewhere else because someplace else might be where you need to be to slow down, and that is okay. And it's okay to say, hey, I'm going to meal prep 8 meals for the month. And so I have the next the next 2 months, Thursdays and Sundays filled with meals, right? Whatever you have to do to get to slow living, do it because it's so worth it when you get there.
Yep. I wish I could meal prep that much. That'd be amazing.
Me too, but you get the point.
Not that organized in my brain. All right. Well, this was amazing. I love this concept. It's a really hard one for me to practice as a human because was so obsessed with the checking of the boxes and the doing all the things and the feeling behind. And it's something I'm still working on. Honestly, I'm not like perfect at this at all. I'm still working on it. That's the point here. But This was such a great topic, so needed, and I feel like so many people are working towards just slower living and getting off the screens and just doing things that just make us feel fulfilled. And that's what
Have you
that's all
heard
about.
the term of the summer is 90s analog summer?
Ah, well, I was gonna say the word analog, but I don't know how many people like. I feel like I'm on this special algorithm where I hear the word
Doesn't matter.
analog, but I don't know if other people do. I don't know if people know what that
If
means.
if you get to this end of this episode and you understand what we're saying, put analog in the comments. And we will see you next Wednesday. We'll see you every Wednesday. Tag a friend, tag a family member, tag someone you love. Tell someone about this slow season because it is so worth it. And we love you all. You are worth it. And we'll see you next week. And remember, find us on any of our socials and our Facebook group. Bye bye.
Bye. Thanks for spending time with us today and being part of our Hermit Haven community.
We hope you enjoyed our cozy chat and are inspired to embrace your inner hermit.
Remember, even in the quiet moments, you're never alone on this journey because we are truly all in this together.
So until next time, stay cozy, stay true to yourself, and keep spreading love wherever you go.
Bye for now.
We'll see you next time.